All right, Mr. Emergency, will you call us to order at 6 o'clock? Would y'all stand? We do have a quorum, and Logan, will you say our prayer?
Dear Lord, we just ask that you would be with us, make the best decisions for the district. God, pray that you just keep our kids safe, our staff safe, as we finish up this last little bit of school, as the seniors go on to their next journey in life, that you would be with them and protect them, God. We just thank you for today. Just be with us in all the decisions we make. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, let's go and recognize our guest and Mr. Jones.
Ms. Lovegrove, would you care to start us off with the speech of the debate team?
Okay, for, Will is here and Aiden. They were part of teams. Aiden Anderson and Will Line participated in CX debate back in January. We went to district. Aiden and his partner Emma Williams placed third, and William and his partner Elizabeth placed fifth. Okay. I don't see any of my LDers here, but they placed fifth and sixth in district. And then persuasive speaking, Hallie White placed third and moved on to regional.
Okay. Ms. Gray, would you care to take care of our VP8 students?
All right. I'm on the list, so I don't forget anyone. Okay, so we had 11 state medalists this year, which is incredible. There's over 9,000 members there, and to get on stage is just incredible. Hard work to get on stage, and these students had it. We had 11. We had Willow Sylvie and Cadence Moneymaker. If you two will stand. They did podcast productions, and they came in 5th place at state. Willow Williams, Cole Fortune, Addison Stein, and Tatum Roberts. If you guys will stand. They were administrative support team, and they were 4th place. In speaking events and team events, you have to be the top 3. So they missed going to nationals by 1 and 2 places, but they were incredible. So proud and looking forward to next year. They're all youngins, so they got more time. In non-speaking events, it was the top 5, but because Texas is so large, they changed it that certain states, Ohio and Texas, could have 8 this year. And so we had the following are national qualifiers. Zoe, if you'll stand up. Zoe went to nationals in fundamental desktop publishing. She was 3rd place at state. She's the only student from SF to advance to nationals 4 years in a row. Ever since she was a freshman, she's advanced to nationals. She's been in the top 10 in 2 events 3 years in a row. And she's also been a national champ on the administrative support team. He advanced in fundamental accounting. He was 6th place at state. It was his first time to advance as a freshman. He was called to the national stage as the top 10 in the nation. He was also a winner of the NSL Steps Challenge. He walked everywhere. We would be standing in line and he would be walking between us trying to get those steps in. And he was a winner with over 75,000 steps in how many miles?
34.
And that was from Wednesday through Saturday morning. 34 miles. So. wanted to be the leader with bats, you know, so he didn't want to use an online map. He wanted a paper map, and he led us around. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna give him another challenge, and I gave him a Spanish map, and he was like, yes, I can do it, and he did. Jaden Gerard. This is his second time to advance to state. He was second at state in database. This is the first time we've ever had 3 people advance in the same subject. And Sanford Fridge was second, fourth, and fifth on the state stage. And Jaden was second. He's also been a national champ in admin support team, as well as top 10. This is her first year to advance as a sophomore, and she was 4th in database applications. Aiden Anderson was 5th at state in database applications, his first year to advance as a sophomore. He was called to the national stage in the top 10 as well. And you can see on his face, he the first place winner was second from Texas, got second place, and he was like, oh, our first place got second. And the next name called was Aiden Anderson. He was first place national champion. I was proud of every single one of those, and I appreciated Ms. Dethridge going with us, and these kids represented Sanford Fridge in the state of Texas extremely well.
Introduce our one act.
Sure. I didn't bring anything. I didn't write anything down. I really should have. So we had our one act play competition in March, and the kids did a phenomenal job. I mean, y'all would be so proud of them. We didn't advance, unfortunately, but we did have some kiddos who were recognized. We had best lighting was Devin Schultz and Reason Playing, and I don't think that they're here this evening. No. We had honorable mention, all-star cast, Trace Downs. Damian Franz was a member of the all-star cast. And we also had Cora Garlington go with us, Shaylee Keener, they do costumes for us. Eden Wolziak, Will Lyon, and Bryson Moody. Also went, Brooke Mim was our stage manager. We also had Gracie Neighbor, Morgan Parrish, and Violet Durham as well. So.
Barbara, would you care to do our UI academic?
Oh, sure. And by the way, if you did not get an opportunity to see the one act play this year, I got to see it 4 times.
I think so, yes.
And they improved so much. They were amazing. And we had so many people come up to us and say, y'all were robbed when the district hit.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. They did a great job. If you competed in UIL academics, would you stand, those who are here? So this is just a small amount. We had 41, I think, students that competed in academics at district. Okay, y'all can have a seat now. After district, we took 18 students to regional, which was a great number. We had several first place teams, the accounting team for their 4P, correct? Was that your 4th time to win district academic competition in accounting? We had our Lit Crit team that won first place. We also had our CIE, our current events and issues, our issues and events team. If those teams are here, if y'all would stand, accounting, stand. There we go. There you go. That works. Accounting works. And then CIE. Do we have anyone here from CIE? There we go. There we go. Got 2 sitting in person. No, Will. I'm sorry, Will. I wasn't looking far enough down. And then our Lit Crit team. And 3 of those are here, Damien and Trace and Violet. So these are the ones that were the team winners. We also had a couple of individuals. And so Cole and Paige, oh, so sorry, Emily, it's a Bass. I'm telling you. I get the last names. You know, I haven't called her Ashley at least this year, right? I haven't done that one. Where Ashley placed first. Emily placed first in district, Cole placed second. When we got to regionals, Cole took it away, and Cole placed second at regionals and will be headed to state. The Lit Crit team down on this end, plus Madison Boyd, that's not here tonight, also won first place with Trace placing first. And Damien, were you fifth? Yes. And that team is going to go and represent Sanford Critch. And then our accounting team that placed first, second, fourth, and fifth, if I remember correctly, Mr. Sylvie was first, and Mr. Seaberg as a freshman was second. I believe Zoe was fourth, and Jaden was fifth, and they were all very close, but boy, they could tell when it came to that team score there. They did a great job. We also had Grace Cassida at regional. Grace? Is Grace here? She couldn't be here. Did I miss anything? Oh, and Daly. Well, Daly was going to be my last one. Daly in Compiègne at District 1 first, and at Region she was third, but she was third. She tied for second and lost the, what's it called? Tiebreaker points. The other person had a few more, and the first place person was only a half point ahead of her. So she's got a great chance. But this year, Sanford Critch is taking 10 students to state. That's the most we've ever taken. We've gone back and looked at everything, and that's the most that has ever happened. I went back, because you know I'm nosy, because you know Brewer likes to rub it in that they're so much better than us. All of those other district teams from our district only have 8 people going to state, and we individually are taking 10. So, yeah, them combined, all of them combined is only 8, and we're taking 10. Until Vega got the alternate in the accounting, and then those 4 added on. But we don't count those kind of things. We would if it was us, but you know how that is. Also, these students at regional won enough points that we were the 3rd place team out of 81 teams at regional. So we were they called us the 2nd runner-up. Sounded pretty good to me. Congratulations.
Miss anybody? I think I got everybody right. Okay.
All right. If y'all want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're more than welcome to stay.
Good luck at nationals, those that are going. Yeah, good
That's why we're embarrassing everybody. Have a great day, y'all. Order in the court.
And I have something to say for Miss Carr. Her guest couldn't be here, but these books, just for you guys to look through that, go back. There were student writing samples submitted, and if you look in the back, several of our students have works published, and so she just wanted y'all to look through the books and know that they were published in this book for y'all to see.
Okay. So we don't have anybody for open forum, and let's go to our bus presentation. So do we want to go out? I think we're outside. Okay. All right, let's step out and go look at the bus outside. We'll be back shortly.
Just carry on.
Come on, if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
I've already looked at it. It's nice. Yeah, it's top notch. I felt fancy just sitting in it.
Funny.
It's not like the yellow dogs we had to take to trips when we
Oh,
were.
yeah,
Oh.
go yellow dogs.
We had to take one, I went to state band in Austin, and we rode on the yellow bus, and it broke down in the summer in Austin on the side of the road. And they had to change the transmission, or not the transmission, a fan belt.
Oh, yeah.
And so a farmer saw us all sitting under a tree, and he brought us sandwiches and water.
Oh, wow.
And then once they replaced that part, we got back on the road, but it was so hot, and those buses are just so uncomfortable anyway.
No seat belts.
Yeah. Nope.
Now, does this have one with a restroom in it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's not
That would
quite
take it
that
over.
fancy. I don't think we could really ever even think about one of those. This one's pretty high.
Sure.
I can't remember, because we've talked about this before. Is this brand new? Or is this?
Mhm.
Oh, this is brand new? Oh, wow.
That's fancy, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's brand new, and it'll be like made to order, and they'll wrap it.
Oh, okay.
All that kind of
And so they do the wrapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where's it coming
Yeah.
from?
I can't remember. I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's Lubbock or somewhere Midland. I don't remember.
Yeah. No, the bus people aren't here.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, they got the bus people.
Okay.
They're talking to them, and I think they'll come back
Okay.
in and
Because I didn't see that.
answer questions. Oh, no, they were sitting on the bus waiting.
Okay.
They'll come back in after.
Okay. Oh, no, just come in. I was like, oh my God, is that anyone? I've got some. Okay. He's so hard to read for me.
Yeah. I think he just wants to make sure. I think he wants that car there.
Yeah, just not getting this comes up.
Yeah. It's a nice one.
I didn't really go in.
Oh, no.
I know, I was like going, I'm gonna wait. Let's.
Which
So that one
goes
has
into that.
TVs?
It has TVs and it has a table.
I know at our church, we don't use our TVs. We have a bus that has TVs, but the driver has to put the bus in park, put the movie in, start it, and everybody has to watch the same thing. Now, I don't know if those are the same.
Well, and it probably is. My thought is most kids are going to be like this anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So the TVs
Yeah.
were an extra expense. We're like, man, we should have just not did that.
well, that's my thought is it depends on like what the cost difference is. Like, is it worth? If it's not that much, maybe just leave them. But if it makes a significant change, then
Yeah.
then take them out.
And no, I didn't ever see the ones in Stinnett
Oh,
either.
you didn't?
They didn't get them in before I left.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
I wasn't sure how long they had those.
they got them last spring.
They got two, right?
Have you talked to anybody, lately?
From there.
Yeah.
A few people. I mean, I talked to a few people.
I know, it's going smooth.
I don't really talk to some people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to know. Run into board members, and they still talk to me, so I guess
Yeah.
that's a good sign. They don't go, ugh. Did you get your mom to her appointment?
Yeah, she's got her, she wants to do scope, colonoscopy, and what else did she have to do? Oh, she did a lot of blood tests, and, she had a spot on her liver that was benign, but with some more symptoms she's having, he wants to do an MRI, so. Getting old, stinks.
So it sounds like you have a few appointments this summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Which the colonoscopy, they usually do that go out there, whatever. And this one, he, like, the 5 days up, you stop doing, like, taking all these different, you take vitamins or, and on the third day, you only eat meat, bread, or potatoes for 3 days. And then one day, you totally clear liquids on it. And then it's just double X. You take daily double X, and then you start chasing that with marijuana. There, it's quick. Oh wow, it's like a week long
Like I said, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Go like most people.
Well, they said that that's just kind of
I
hard
can't
on
use
their
limited
systems.
edge
Oh
because
god.
of the, like, I don't really smell that.
Did you text him about the tablecloth to see it?
I jumped into numbers.
I wondered if John's asked him at all.
I can't, I mean, I'm afraid my brain, I can't think of one person that I use that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back into it. I heard there's like mod race kind of trail run at the end of the month. Kind of out there, like where you walk that a lot of places.
I guess we can text the junior high too, and that's
So
good.
I might sign up for that.
Yeah.
But
Just can't imagine.
Well, because the only thing that would be at junior high is like, what,
it was just a half minute.
did we have the breakfast? Did we have it out at the
I don't
breakfast?
think we did.
And I can't
I'm almost
remember.
positive we didn't. Because I don't think we used anything.
No,
except
no.
Yeah.
just, we had that little white table with the, we had the,
Like Courtney brought all the stuff and we came out, and then
yeah,
we had to
no,
sign
there
it.
was no table.
Tag and then kind of, yeah, they'll come back there. Right?
I'm happy to get someone out sheet.
We are, because, I mean, because we just ordered that last night. Like, that's pretty
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, we had it, I think it was, we had it since I've been over here.
Yeah, I know that Garrison picked up the color.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
probably been right around that time.
A lot of people, yeah.
So, no, I agree. That's what you'll see about the shop, because you know,
Cold.
you know, they'll bring it right back, or I'll remember.
But, well, I guess for running, it's probably.
No.
It's still hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll start to sign out sheet
At least for
for
me,
things like that.
yeah,
I think 45 degrees.
Yeah.
45 degrees.
that way we just know.
Weather for my
Right.
outdoors.
Yeah.
It's too crazy.
That everyone's not meeting just about 2 months prior, you start having to check on that.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's just ran so different than
I
I'm used
know.
to being around.
Yeah, which is nice.
But I definitely do want to
Very nice.
do one.
Well, then Garrison was staying around, you know, in that room where we keep the tablecloth, and he's like, oh, this room. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, I like.
I said, it's on my to-do list someday.
Yes.
It won't happen now, because it's just, I've got to learn the job.
Yeah.
Well, that's these closets. These are ridiculous.
It's good. Yeah, it's fine.
That's a lot.
That's the one we can't all like get rid of, right?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, from the hospital, so I stuck it in there.
When I first started coloring.
Offended the guy that comes and does in my machines, that, you know, does the updates on the
That
electric
Eagles
machines,
in there.
because
The last miles,
And
she
he
had a
goes,
pacer.
that's
jumped
awesome.
on,
He said,
at like
I'm
the
not gonna
last
lie, I'm
20
a little
miles
offended
or
about it's being
Yeah.
stored.
And they were like, having to stop. Legs would just get out.
And you can properly care for it.
Yeah, so he comes every 2 years, and as soon as the year he came, so I don't have them machines out here, that,
He just
wasn't
gets
even
to
mention
sit
it.
still.
Yeah, I was ready for him.
We need to take that in Garrison's office one day and have it sit there when you,
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
because he shuts his door now, and he goes in when you have a big building.
Yes. He's sitting at the desk with a pen in his wing. Oh,
We haven't pranked him in a while.
I mean,
But he was like going,
well, you're supposed to use this finger when you're right anyway.
yeah. They're giving you all the.
Yes, yes. It's gonna go fine.
Wanna wake up now? Can I open it? You like to clean it?
Can I see?
Stop building. He said, I said, no thanks. I said, I'm good. Well, the funny thing is, my brother's on the video. I was telling him, he's like, I know he's scared. I'm like, George already tried that. I refused him to. Because they're like, this is funny to be able to say that. I'm like, it's not funny.
Yeah. So,
This might be
what do you
delivered
think?
to your house.
Third, fourth, okay. Do you know who's also doing it for 5, 6? So do you think it'd be, we could
A little bit. I will be showing up to work if I have to do that.
we can just go 3.
All right. So, does anybody have any additional questions for the guys that brought the bus? As far as, we talked about safety out there, but you want to go ahead and go over some of the safety things that you and I discussed?
Sure. This bus was engineered from the very beginning to be for student transportation. So we started with the school bus, the yellow school bus, which is considered the safest vehicle on the road. So this bus was engineered to pass every structural requirement of a yellow school bus. So it needed to go beyond that, though, because there's some limitations in the requirement of a yellow school bus that nobody talks about. And I say that because that's a dominant part of our business is yellow school buses. So I'm not putting them down. It's just it's a money thing. There is a high-speed rollover requirement for large buses in the U.S. It's a federal requirement. For example, we paid a company that does automotive structural engineering for Ford Motor Company to give us the design and engineering structural caging for this bus to pass that, and that was over $500,000. The yellow school buses were exempted from having to pass that requirement because of the cost. And they actually said in their discussions of it that yellow school buses only go 35 miles an hour and stop every 6 blocks. Of course, then a lot of schools put their kids in them Friday night and say, go as fast as you can down the highway. I've had a lot of opportunity to see these buses without the skin on them. If you saw this one without the skin versus a yellow school bus side by side, this would look like a tank, literally, compared to a school bus. So we got that part handled. Then we also put a subfloor on it that is a material that's required in aircraft because it won't burn, and it also, especially for a little wetter climates than Texas, but it doesn't absorb moisture, so we don't have to worry about mold and mildew. School buses, if they have air conditioning in them, they use a plywood, just plain plywood subfloor. That is the primary reason that when a school bus catches on fire, the entire bus gets engulfed and burns up, because it runs down the plywood. So we also standard 3-point seat belts. The height of the students are up above most vehicles on the road, so if there is a side impact, it's usually below them. So, you know, mine are grandkids that are in school now, and if I got to choose the bus for them to be in between this and the yellow school bus, it would be this. But the yellow school bus was never designed to do what this does, so in its defense. The bus was also designed to make it a lot cheaper and easier and quicker to take care of than the motor coaches like a Greyhound or Trailways type bus, which we sold those to schools for years because that's what everybody wanted, but they just become a money pit to take care of. They're not designed, it's a bad application for a school. They shouldn't be sitting as much as they do. If you were in the business to run them every day, and you had your shop and your people and the software and the tools to take care of them on a daily basis, great. But not a school. So I've taken a ton of those in trade because superintendents say, get them off my property and off my insurance. We're tired of the downtime. So this is designed to be the same maintenance as a school bus. Your school bus mechanic popped the hood, he'd recognize everything, and he'd know where to go get all the parts. So, and every shop can work on a Freightliner. So it makes it a lot easier. Were there any other questions or concerns? I will mention this. I do have a base version of these buses. And they are cheaper, not a ton, cheaper a little bit. And the reason I bring it up is some have seen some of our advertising and things like that, and they ask about them. I sell about 40 to 50 of the Ultra Coachliner versus the base unit. The base units are called a Super Coach XL or a Mega Coach. And there are some in Texas. But the only reason we still make those is for, say, a commercial operator that's shuttling people just back and forth to the airport or casino or something. People aren't riding on it very long. They're on there 30 minutes and they're off, so it doesn't matter. It's cheaper. This one is designed with a lot of upgrades. Any other bus on the road on a Freightliner chassis has a Freightliner truck suspension designed to haul cargo. And cargo never complains about the ride. So we redesign these suspensions for people. And this is the only Freightliner bus on the road that has airbags besides the rear, also in the front. And it's adjustable on the dash for the driver to adjust it to the load. Whether you got 10 kids or you've got 50 on the bus, you can adjust your ride. It's like a empty pickup versus having some weight in the back end, so that the suspension is affected better. But I have both available. I don't think you would be real happy. It would be better than riding in a yellow school bus. But if you look at overall cost of operation, this bus does cost more than a Bluebird or a Thomas Activity bus. It's a lot cheaper than those Greyhound type buses. But from an overall cost standpoint, if you were going to keep them both 8 or 10 years and then maybe trade them in for a new model or something, that school bus body depreciates to scrap metal very quickly, and that's because there's over 1 million of them dumped on the U.S. market every year when schools are turning over their fleets. So there's no market. We get probably a couple of dozen calls a day wanting the best school bus we've got that's in perfect condition and no rust and everything works great, and they got $700 for it. So we're inundated with these phone calls, and that's because there's so many of them. This bus, on the other hand, there's a big market for it, and that's why I never have any used. If I had a used one today, it would be gone tomorrow. The last 2 or 3 we had were sold within hours, and they were sold well before they ever got back to our place. Because there are people that are looking for them, and they're on a list, but they have to be somebody to make a decision immediately. The only school that's gotten one that I know of, the board approved the superintendent to make a decision up to a certain dollar amount on the spot ahead of time. So, but that's why this will hold its value. So in the long run, it's actually cheaper than that Bluebird or Thomas school bus. Plus, it holds a lot more people, a lot more luggage, so you might eliminate another vehicle, another driver. So that plus all the safety, it's kind of become the go-to bus across the country now. And they've been out long enough. We've worked out bugs, and now the colleges and universities are jumping all over it. So we originally just presented it to the K-12 schools. And Texas was the first state we showed it to. And Austin at the Convention Center in 2018. So, any other questions? Anybody?
Okay, all right, thank y'all. All right. We'll move on to.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Nice to meet
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank y'all for bringing that.
Yep.
All right. Garrison on the construction.
Hello everyone, my name is Fred Albaron with Shopper Maker and Associates. I guess go ahead and introduce yourself.
Nathan Colwell, I'm from Page & Associates Contractors. I'm Brent Ham with Page & Associate Contractors.
So I guess we're just going to give you I'm going to give you an overview of what the, I guess, phase one of the 2024 capital improvement projects is. Basically for this phase of the project, we're doing renovations to your, I guess, elementary school. We're basically upgrading some of the interior finishes, replacing some of your exterior windows. The idea here is that a couple of years ago, I guess you had an emergency repair for your east wing. So we're going to come back in, and I guess the areas that you see in blue, which are your classrooms, we're going to come back in and match that wing that we did a couple of years ago. If we have the same finishes, provide the same finishes just to match as that wing is. Same for the corridors. They'll get new tile. It's that peach color, I guess, that you see on those plans. You'll have tile along the corridors. Those corridors also get new ceilings, new LED lights, just to bring up your whole school to newer, I guess, light systems to match others. I guess when it comes to your classrooms, the areas in blue, so a lot of the things that are happening in there, it's basically new finishes, you're getting new grid, new ceiling tiles, the grid's going to remain, the millwork, you're getting new tops, a lot of the millwork, existing millwork, it's in a good condition. So when we were out there surveying, we just decided that we're going to remove them off the wall and put them back in place. The reason to remove them is because we're adding basically a 4-inch base all along basically all areas that we're touching, that it's going to be basically a moisture resistant board basically, just so it doesn't create any issues later on for mold and stuff like that. But those cabinets will go back in place and they'll get a new top. But that's basically the overview of what the project is for the elementary school. As you can kind of see, the areas in red, those are the windows that we're going to replace, that they're damaged. They have some, they just need to be replaced really, water will get in there and stuff. But I'm going to let them talk a little bit more about what the phasing of the project is as they start construction, and also give you a little bit more detail about the numbers.
Yeah. So first, let me say thank you for having us. I mean, we were here in 2021 when we did the emergency repairs. So the east wing is essentially what we're, doing in the other two wings at this point. So we've been down been down this road and you know, we're glad to be back, so thank y'all for that. So essentially what we've done at this point, we took the package Shiver Maggart produced, we categorized all the scopes of work in it, we put it out to bid to subcontractors, suppliers, received those bids, put it all together, and really we were excited as could be about the numbers where they came in. In fact, if we took the emergency repair project that we did in 2021 and doubled it to do 2 corridors, that's just about right where we're at 4 years later. So it's pretty impressive. I myself did not expect that. So we had some good, you know, participation, especially mechanical, electrical, plumbing aspects, which has been fairly typical lately for those trades. But yeah, you know, looking at the overall program, we've also done an opinion of probable cost for the high school scope, you know, just to kind of see if we're staying in budget over the whole program. I think you're well ahead at this point where we're seeing things. But as far as the GMP, I don't know if you want to go through that. We'll go through it in as much detail or as little detail as you want, but phasing wise, that next page in your program or the larger 11 by 17 sketches, essentially this is the phasing plan that we come up with after meeting with the project team. You know, at first we were talking of doing like 4 classrooms at a time, and it sounded like we could be a little more aggressive than that and take it all the way to 8 classrooms. So we revised this phasing plan, and that's what the second page is there. So our mission and our goal is to, you know, jump on this the day after Memorial Day when school's out and get as much done as we possibly can with a focus on the corridors, knowing that when school starts back up, you know, we'll have those corridors accessible by students and teachers, and then fall back into some of the classrooms, and that way we can put up tent partitions and get a real separation between construction and students and things like that. So when you go through it, you know, the one concern we kind of had with corridors is the 2 longest lead items in there is lights and tile. So it's like, we got to get tile coming, we got to get lights coming, you know, so it's one of those deals of, you know, can we demo and know that tile and lights are going to be here, or where do we stop? You know, those are the kind of things we'll have to start gauging once we get into the project to see, okay, we're going to have lights, you know, by June 15th or July 1st or what, can we go this far, you know, but those are all things we'll know, you know, shortly after signing up subcontractors and going through the submittal process. But I mean, I don't think quantity-wise it's overly aggressive. You know, we certainly want to accommodate the users, and I mean, it may be that we get into it and collectively we all say, yeah, we better just take over 4 classrooms, not 8, because you guys need more space, and leave it where we can, you know, work this collectively as a group. So that's kind of how the subs were presented to approach the job. So that's what this GMP amendment's based on. And I'll let Nathan speak to the GMP, and we can go through that now. I noticed on the agenda it may be a little later, so whichever you prefer. Or questions as far as phasing or scope?
Y'all can go through it now.
Okay. I guess Nathan will speak to the GMP. Nathan's our project manager and estimator, so he's been hip deep in this thing.
Yep. And like Brent mentioned on the phasing, I actually spent 10 years as a principal and went through a construction project that was phased. So that's really one of the things we've discussed a lot, is working with the principal and the teachers on phasing. So go as fast as we can or as slow as we need to. So that's important. If you guys will look on the packet, the smaller packet, it's page 6, but it says estimate summary at the top. Like Brent mentioned, just to kind of walk through the process of taking bids, coming to those numbers, where do they come from, and kind of in the process of that, we'll touch on some of the subcontractors that are going to be on board and why they were chosen, and maybe a little bit of our relationship with them. But You can see on that first page, it's got our categories listed, and Brent mentioned the categories, the trades, and I won't read those to you, but it just kind of gives you the idea of all the things that are going to be going on during this project, and where those numbers fell on that far right column. Underneath that, we have our general conditions, which are, you guys know, those are the things that make the job operate: supervision, equipment, that sort of thing. And obviously those are driven by the job and the amount of time that the job takes. You go to that second page, those continue, and then you can see some insurances, things of that nature. And then you kind of get down to that bottom where you can see overhead and fee, which is part of our proposal. And then the contingency we did, and this is something we typically do, contingency, a CM contingency, we have 5%. Those are just for those things that might pop up that are not foreseen at bid time that we can cover. And those needs are communicated with the architect and the board for approval. But those are just for, in construction, we're going to come across things that no one anticipated, so it gives us a little bit of a amount of money to address those, and then any of that that's not used goes back to the owner at the end. So we did highlight on owner contingency. We didn't put an amount there. We're not carrying an owner contingency on our side, but you guys obviously can on your side if you so choose, but we did not include that there. So you can see that bottom number, $1,295,860. So go to the next page and we'll kind of jump into like we talked about, taking bids and why we chose who we did. And again, if you have questions, please stop me. I'm going to move through this pretty quick. Category 1, interior building demo, that's something that we self-perform. Almost all GCs self-perform that, so that's why you only see one bidder there. There's a lot of demo in this. We mentioned the vinyl wall covering. That's a big deal that's going to have to take place, so our guys and ladies will self-perform that. Category 2, millwork, and this is a supply only. And we received 3 bids, and ProWall, which is out of Amarillo, we do a lot of work with those guys. Very quality work, so their bid was carried over. And again, that's not including install. Install happens in the carpentry, which is category 3. And again, carpentry, because we employ union carpenters, so do all the general contractors. We don't get bids on carpentry. We don't bid on other people's jobs for carpentry, so that's why there's only one bid. But carpentry really, and on this specific job, is going to involve so much. Like I mentioned, installing millwork, any blocking that has to take place, taking down of projectors or anything like that, soap dispensers, toilet accessories, all that, carpentry then pays to put it back to. So it encompasses a whole lot of things. And the next page, category 4, caulking and sealants. Not a lot of that here. Ceiling grid, door frames. Rudd Palmer, great company. They actually are office right across the street from us. Good guys. Category 5, glass and glazing. We mentioned, I think there's 26 windows. Royal Glass, I believe, did your repair before, so good guys to work with. Glass Inc. came a little lower, but they are not able to get a bond. And we felt like it's good at that amount to get a bond on this trade, so they weren't able to. That's why Royal Glass was chosen there.
Are the windows going to be the same as in the east wing?
Yes, yeah, and that's largely another reason we wanted to stick with Royal, is to ensure that continuity and no difference there, so.
Category 6, the drywall, ACT ceilings, and any EFS work. There's some in one of the corridors. And what Freddie mentioned about taking out the grid and the tile in the hallways, it's a pretty big undertaking. And Denman, another good group out of Amarillo, came in low on that. Next page, 7, resilient flooring, which also is the tile, the wall tile. Brent mentioned the big item. I believe Rick Lovelady did the repair. A1 Floors, great company, does a lot of work with us, very dependable. Came in a little lower there. We're pleased with them. Category 8, painting and finishing. This is another big scope of work here. And Sosa Painting, we've got them on several jobs right now. A lot of painters, very responsive, and they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them there. Category 9, specialties, because we are taking off toilet accessories and putting them back on, there was no cost there to add. Obviously, if we run into some damages and need to replace those, we'll communicate that and make a plan there. Next page, category 10, window coverings with those 26 windows, included blinds, and we just had one bidder on that one, Commercial Blinds, good company. Category 11, Brent mentioned the mechanical and plumbing, had several bids, all very good quality subcontractors. That Verity Mechanical came in really low. I had a conversation with their owner just to make sure they're covered and understand the project. They were very excited about doing the project, so they bid it pretty aggressively, so we feel confident with them. Category 12, electrical, same deal. They came in low, talked to the folks there at Tyser. They're bidding this aggressively because they want to work, they like the project scope, and so they had everything covered, so they were pulled over. And then category 13 is those allowances Brent mentioned. Anytime you're pulling anything off of drywall, there's a chance it's going to get damaged, and so we've got a little money set aside there to replace sheetrock if necessary. And then corner guards, wall protection, any of that thing, those things that come up. If those monies aren't used, they go back to the owner as well. Okay. So those amounts now, if you go back to that first page that said estimate summary, you can see where those numbers were pulled from in that far right column of your subcontracts. So that's kind of how the process works as far as taking bids and pulling those numbers over to get that end number. So if you guys have any questions, I went through that pretty fast.
On the A1 floors with the porcelain tile, it says no on the PNP bond.
Yes.
Is that concerning or not?
Not, and actually Brent and I talked a lot about that. I think kind of around that 100,000 mark, we start looking at getting the bond on those companies. These guys we've worked with a lot. They've been around a long time, and so we just really don't have any concerns.
I mean, they're really probably one of the bigger, if not the biggest, in the Panhandle area. I mean, we got a 30-year relationship with them, you know, so we feel pretty, very confident.
The one that did the East Wing?
Yes, Rick Lovelady, again, he, you know, comparable, and I mean, they're really just very much alike, and you know, you can't go wrong picking either one of them in our opinion.
Other questions?
Do you remember the time frame it was for you to finish that East Wing? Do you remember?
Yeah, we started that, I know we finished right after Labor Day, I believe in September, if I recall correctly. So I think we took that summer. There were some other scopes that existed there because of the flood, I guess, and so then there was some abatement in the windows, which will again need to happen on these wings, the caulking, I believe. But yeah, as I recall, we were largely complete right there after the week after Labor Day is what I'm thinking.
And our abatement report came back good.
Oh, good.
We don't have any.
Awesome.
And the caulking was good.
Good, yeah.
So we just got that back right.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like I say, the numbers really pleasing. I was super excited. And then just out of curiosity, the only reason I went back to the emergency repairs is like, how much was that one? And yeah, I mean, it's, of course, it's the same scope for us, you know, but to be that close 4 years later is, I thought, pretty remarkable. So. And those MEP guys, you know, they're probably the difference maker in the whole thing because they did pursue it aggressively. All those trades are really hungry right now, you know, so that's probably where we're capturing a lot of that. But no, super pleased with the subs, you know, all of them are top notch and very little issues with any of them, so.
I do want to add, I guess, a little bit more, I guess. This, I guess, based on the numbers that we got, I mean, it is really good numbers that we received. We're super excited about that. But we do have at least 2 more phases of the project. And we are going to basically keep a list of other items that might come up. One of the things that we did an estimate a couple of months ago, and I mean, obviously the number that we got, it's definitely under budget. And we're just gonna continue to keep a list. I guess one of the things we didn't include, I guess, in the project, I guess for phase one, is to add new floors, I guess, to the classrooms. That's one of the items that we can always come back later on, based on numbers that we get for the other two phases. We can always come back and add those after, because we still have phase two, which is basically your high school. A lot of the finishes on the corridors, your competition gym, getting new basketball goals, finishes, and stuff like that. And then your band hall, there's an area that needs extensive renovation. So based on those numbers, and then we have the junior high, that's basically replacing basically your EFIS siding that you have, which is creating some water issues throughout. So based on those numbers that we get, hopefully we still get really good numbers back. We can still continue to keep a list, and we can always add on later on and basically come back and do some of those other items that you might need.
Well, you did a really good job last time, I think, so.
We had to do the classroom floor the last time. We ever had the carpet and a lot of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, carpet.
Yeah, and all that. And these, when y'all looked at the floors in these other two, they're not that bad, are they?
Didn't look bad to us.
So there's no carpet and there's no, it
It's all
hasn't been
BCT,
flooded and all that kind of stuff.
So those classrooms are good to go.
Yeah, they should be fine, yeah. And then, I guess the one and only spot we're wondering is about that, I think it's there at the library where you got the radial wood column, I believe it is, that blue stripe in the floor follows that column. And now we got a wrap towel around that column that won't flex like that round column. So we're kind of scratching our heads a little on that to figure out what's gonna work best, because we won't be able to match the floor, and change that towel. But that's something we're all working together on, just to kind of, get a good solution on.
It's an odd condition, but we'll find a good solution for it, for sure.
It's good to, y'all saw the other wing. You know how
Oh, yeah.
it was put together. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
not very good.
Right.
So,
Yep.
we're excited that it'll
We're-
be a lot better than it was.
It's actually, we're bringing the same superintendent we used at the emergency repairs project, so he's familiar with it. Several, like you saw, subs are the same. Whether they'll be the same foreman, not sure about that, of course, but, it's all adding up to a really good, outlook and a plan. If we can get through the lead time stuff, then it's just smooth sailing, so. As far as that owner contingency, we've seen it both ways. If you prefer to carry it on our side, we can carry it on our side, and basically what you do is there's forms that track the use of that contingency to you guys for board approval, everything. It just is kind of whatever's best for you guys. That may be something to consider or not, but we've seen it both ways. Beyond that, like Nathan said, contingencies, allowances, unused general conditions, all of that is savings, 100% back to the owner, fully auditable at the end of the job, all those things. So pretty normal. It's kind of like a time and material job if I'm not using too much construction lingo. Other questions or?
No, just amazement. Shock.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
So that's the final, this is probably a stupid question, the final guaranteed number other than.
Yes, 1,295. So essentially what would happen with the other phases, a separate GMP amendment would be done for each one of those, and.
Well, I think we budgeted all that stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know, Jason, if you want to explain it. So there's, four of us, but Rusty's not here, that were here with you guys last time.
Oh, good.
So there's two guys behind you that are fixing to get on today.
Okay.
And so can you kind of explain to them what the guaranteed maximum price, or have you already done that?
just kind of so they know where we're at.
This is all the manager's risk.
Oh, there are construction managers at risk, so they're the ones taking the risk. So, and correct me if I'm wrong on this.
Sure.
And so their price of 1.2, was it 95860 is our price unless we add something or do something that way. And so this is the price they'll come in at and do the work for us at.
Right. So the risk and CM at risk is if we go over that number, that's our problem. Yeah, I know. So that's the risk part of CM at risk. So it's really the best approach. I mean, it's super beneficial to the owner because, like I say, it's like a time and materials. You get the savings. Yeah, I know. Whereas if we hard bid it, yeah, no, you don't see any savings, and it's really works great. And probably our preferred method of working with them because they're just the way to go. Like the CM contingency, as Nathan said, is fully back to the owner if you're not used. That's stuff typically, bidding and buyout errors, if we went through this and hit the wrong key when we plugged a number in, or, things like that we just didn't catch because human error or whatever it is, maybe, unforeseens like Nathan mentioned. Things like that we couldn't necessarily extract from the drawings and understand. So that's kind of what that's intended for. What else? That's largely how that works. CM at risk.
Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. What's that? All right, we're going to move on to new business, and does anybody, sure.
The TOCAD donated $28.75, and that was for this is the sprayer. Okay, we got a new sprayer for our maintenance. That way they can save one for the fields, and then we can spray the parking lot with the other. So we already had the one, so they donated another one, and we're very appreciative for that. And then the other item on there was summer camps. I went ahead and threw that on there. I don't know if they're planning on doing any academic or athletic or cheerleading camps, but I wanted to go ahead and approve it that way. If they are, then, we didn't have to revisit it, so.
Okay, does everybody have a question? Okay, do I have a motion to approve it?
I move to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 8.
Motion by Chad, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right, we're going to move on to the regular agenda. All right, discuss possible action on GMP for elementary renovation. Mr. Garrison.
And this is basically what we just went over. And so we just need to approve it if that's the direction y'all want to go.
That's right. You didn't ask. All right, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the GMP for the elementary renovation.
Motion by Doug, do I have a second? Second. Second by Logan. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right, let's talk about the buses. It's different buses, Mr. Garrison.
Well, I went ahead and I put the different quotes in here. We have the quote for the one, that they were talking about. There's the Bluebirds like we have, quote in for that, and the Thomas bus. And so.
So the Bluebird and the Thomas are both yellow buses.
Well, they'll be similar. We'll get them wrapped. They'll be like we have currently. They'll be similar to the Bluebirds. The two wrap buses we have now are Bluebirds, And then that yellow dog, or that yellow activity bus is a Thomas, the older one. And so I believe if you look at it, it has, I mean, they're similar to what we have now. I mean, they've got the flat front, just like the Bluebirds we have now, and so does the Thomas. And so, I mean, they're basically like the current ones we have.
And they just have standard seats in them, correct?
Yes,
Do those have seatbelts on them now?
yes.
Black belt.
Yeah, all the new buses, they're required to have seatbelts.
Not all diesels, right?
All.
Let's see, no, the Thomas is, let me look
The
at
blue, I know the Bluebird one,
that. Okay, so I think, yeah, Thomas is also.
So for those that can't see the screen, the Bluebird one is 280, 801, so almost what?
281,
And then what's the Thomas? Is that that one?
239.
239.
And none of these prices include the wraps either. I mean, that'll be an additional. Most of them, I want to say they said the high end on the wrap was about 20,000.
And then the fancy one that's sitting out there is 370.
So it's $90,000 more than what we're running now than the Thomas. So, you think the maintenance cost over time is gonna make that up on that Freightliner versus the Thomas? Have we had any issues with those?
You know, I don't know that we've had any major issues other than your typical wear and tear, honestly. I mean, you know, the Bluebirds have been in the shop quite a bit lately. You know, one was of our own accord, we wrecked it. And, you know, then the other one we just got back, the Bluebird, they have to be serviced out of Lubbock. So anytime something breaks down, we've either got to tow it or haul it, you know, down there. And so, I believe he said the Thomas and that other bus, the Freightliner can be serviced in Amarillo. Not that, you know, it's not a big deal to take it to Lubbock, so,
you have to tow it, it is.
no, I mean, it, you know, we've been fortunate there. We can live down there, and so, but, you know, it cost us, the last repair we made on the Bluebird was about $5,000, so, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think they're all, you know, gonna have issues at some point, so I mean, I don't.
So on that last activity bus, we bought the Thomas or Bluebird?
Bluebird's the last two we
And we
bought.
replaced the seats because
They were just upgraded. We went from just a regular seat like in a regular school bus.
and that's what these will come with, like a bench seat.
They'll come like that, the Bluebird and the Thomas will come like that, unless we upgrade them.
Is that in what
I don't
the
see an
quote is?
upgrade.
I don't believe it is.
So the ones that are on the bid don't have seatbelts?
No,
No, they all have
seatbelts.
seatbelts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But they don't have the upgraded seat?
right.
And
It's
what was
just
it? What did we spend doing that?
30,
That was how many
26
years
or
ago?
30 is pretty close, because we put the seats in, they just brought us the seats. Because they wanted, I think they wanted like 20 grand to put them in
Long ago was that?
when we bought that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know, we did.
How long have we had that?
Since the last one, so
You're
So,
probably looking at
10 years?
45,000 now, maybe.
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, probably.
So then you're spending 45 to upgrade the safety rating and the rollover and everything else. I mean,
If you do that, we have to, I don't know that we can put them in anymore, but we put the seats in. I don't know if they would have to put them in, and they wanted, I think they wanted back then, I think they wanted 10 grand to put the seats in, to pull all of them out and put them all back.
What year was that?
I don't remember what
I
year.
believe we bought the last one with the last bond.
The last bond,
I think we did.
Is that bus still usable?
Oh, yeah, no, we still, it's one of the ones with, you know,
It's the big one that's wrapped.
Yeah, I'm just saying forward.
I believe it's in the shop now, getting repaired from the damages from the light pole.
Yeah. Some cosmetic work.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get it back for too long though, so. I think it's supposed to be ready in the next month, so, right when we don't need it.
So with with the upgraded seats and everything that we did to that bus versus that bus, we're setting a $45,000 difference between the Bluebird and that.
About,
It's pretty easy in my book.
You get paid for, sometimes.
We build buses very often, run until the wheels fall off, better resale value.
And then, you know, on
Safety
the,
factor.
yeah, on the yellow dogs that we run for route buses, I mean, we buy used buses for those, so. Activity buses, typically we buy new buses.
So let's say any bus we bought for the band, been a used one.
Right,
Use
yeah,
your
the-
demo. We
Yeah,
have
right.
I've also followed some of our buses home from
Well, you know,
far
and
away when they're doing.
the way I look
50
at
miles an
it
hour
too is,
downhill.
you know, we don't have some of the things the other schools around us have, you know, we don't have, you know, big gigantic gyms and things of that nature, and so, to me, anytime we could do something, you know, that's nice for our kids, that, you know, kind of sticks out in my opinion, and it's, you know, after talking all the numbers, I mean, you know, it's a chunk of money, but it's not that much, and, you know, if you look at several schools around us, the Groovers, the Stinnetts, the Stratfords and all that have these buses, and, you know, when we're running the ones we got, you know, it'd be nice to do something to, you know, show our kids that, you know, we appreciate what they do and let them, you know, have something nice that they can ride in my opinion. I mean,
I don't think 30 grand's, 40 grand's even that much, really, in the scope of things.
Not when we just say 1.4 million.
Mhm.
Well, not when you can use it for more than just athletics as well.
Right.
They
Well,
can
and
use
you
it.
know me, I'm not one to spend, I mean, I really don't want to spend that much, but, you know, it gets to talking about the safety and all that, so then I'm like, oh, well, okay, get it.
But then if you go and add the seats,
Yeah, right, if we
You
have to
know,
add the seats.
you may be fairly close to it, 20 grand.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it.
you know, and any bus that we get, a new bus is gonna be nice, you know, but it's just, and it's a lot of money. I mean,
Nice things cost much.
no, they do. They do.
But we, I mean, it's in the bond, right? We do the best
It
that we
is in the
want.
bond. It's not
Look at how
bad.
much we're spending on the playground. You
No,
know?
that's nice.
Hopefully.
Well, I hope so. Because the teachers all told the kids what we were getting, so,
Oh,
well, my
well.
grandkids told me what we were getting, so I'm gonna be the bad guy.
I'm gonna jump my son,
I know.
he's already mad anyways, because he's going junior high.
And then on the one that they brought tonight, and I don't know why I didn't put this in, but he does have the tiers for the wraps. And he said the low end of the wrap's about 12,000 and they get up in the 20s. And, you know, if we had, you know, Sanford French Eagles or something like that on the side, that'd be the lower. If you get into putting the graphics on the windows and that type of thing is when you get into the higher amount. And so, you know, that just
Is
depends
this
on.
one like that one? I mean, does it have the TVs and all that, or did we do? all
No, that's
the extra
optional.
stuff?
The-
Okay, so this
It's
is,
got two 50
okay,
extra.
it's tiny, I didn't read it.
The screens are, let's see,
8 something a piece.
yeah, $8.50 a piece.
Like Chad said, they got phones.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna do that. I
Yeah,
don't,
think they-
you know, when talking to Coach Bennett, you know, he said, I don't know that I would ever use that, maybe, but especially, you know, a lot of our trips are closer trips, so I don't know that they would watch a movie or do anything like that, and so, the solid wood tables, those coaches' tables in the front, they're $1,100 a piece, and, you know, I would talk to him, and I like those too, and talking to the guy, you know, it has the two that face the kids too, so the coaches can be sitting there and they can, you know, observe the kids as they're going down the road. If they didn't have that, then, I mean, they still obviously watch over them, but it'd be easier with those, and so that would be an added cost that I think would benefit.
I was just gonna say, Bidwell said the same thing, and that was a great point, being able to see the kids, being able to sit at those tables and have that observation, or be able to even bring a kid up to have a meeting before a game or something of that nature, no matter what sport you're playing.
And so out of the options, I think, really, I don't think we need window shades or
No, there'll be 10
any of that.
anyways.
And so,
We'll do that surround 10.
They got great air conditioner in it.
You know, those USB ports so they can charge their phone, you know, that comes standard, which is kind of crazy to me, but I guess that's the age we live in now. They gotta be able to charge their devices, so.
They were an option on the last bus that we bought, remember? So, and I think the old RAP was, I would say it was 10 grand. It's 8 or 10,000 for that RAP. But then again, it was how long ago? 15, so 10 years ago.
How long for delivery of it, did you say?
You know, I didn't even ask. No, Moose did say, what did they say? Staying where she was here. And I think it was on the other part of the email for whatever reason I didn't put on there, but, I want to say it was like 4 months, something like that, 4 or 5 months. You know, I think it'd be about, you know, sometime during football season, volleyball.
So what do y'all think about options?
What was it? What, how much?
The tables were 1,100 apiece, so it'd be 2,200 for the 2 tables.
They don't charge you for the seats flipping them around?
No, he just told me that it would just be the 2,200 if we wanted to go with the tables. So I didn't think that was bad.
Yeah, let's nix it on that.
Yeah.
I like LED headlights, you just see a lot better, but I'm surprised they don't just come standard on them. It's an extra $2,500.
That means that those headlights are $1,000 a piece to have them replaced.
It would be really hard for me to believe if they're not LED.
What'd they say on the sheet, Doug? Or
The VFW is
I thought it said halogen on it.
I don't remember. On that.
Just,
It said halogen headlights.
Well, it says on the exterior, it's got LED exterior lights.
That's probably just
Oh, that's
all
the
the marker lights and everything.
Daytime running lights, LED headlights that comes with.
I'm trying to look through the spec sheet.
Doesn't say.
no, it doesn't say.
Which $1,000 for a headlight in a big bus like that's pretty cheap. Really?
I think I'd wait until it came in. Even if it doesn't, you want LEDs on after.
Sounds good to me. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Okay, motion.
I move to approve the purchase of a new activity bus up to $370,000.
Okay, what?
We're
We're gonna have to adjust.
Oh,
yeah.
Because of
Get
the-
out the checkbook, Doug.
I pull my motion back.
You can say, you'll have to say national bus sales. We have to purchase.
Yeah, I didn't, oh dang, I
So that'll
didn't. Yeah,
have
we
to
can
be,
change that, that's not a big deal.
And you have to speak slow because the typing is usually.
Yeah, she's gonna type it in.
Thank you. Where's it at?
Well, we've got the
we
wrap
have to do
too.
this.
You've got the wrap, and then you've got the
As
2,200. And so, I mean,
I'm not saying for it.
well, well, let's talk, what kind of wrap were y'all thinking on it? you know, I was thinking same for French Eagles on us. I don't know that we need all the fancy stuff on the windows and all that. I mean,
Big eagle head down both sides.
Click and you can scroll and see what else.
Thank you.
and I guess we don't have to decide that tonight. I don't guess, I mean, we can see if they can give us some designs.
They
Some
sent,
mock-ups or something?
like, see the options,
Okay.
or they did at the other place.
Say across the river. Yeah.
Across the
Last
river.
15, you know,
From national, and put in national bus
Yeah,
stop.
385, it should be one.
That's almost putting the Libra back on.
You can grant there's 2 seats. You approve
You
it,
wouldn't have to stop.
for the
Just
old
run over
coach
it.
liner
Over a light bulb.
That's right.
from
National Bus Service.
National Bus Sales.
Yeah, with the amount,
Yep.
huh?
Yep.
All right.
385.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. Have a motion now.
I move to approve the purchase of a new activity bus from National Bus Sales for an amount up to $385,000.
Have a motion by Doug. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Logan. All in favor? All in favor? None opposed? Motion carries. All right.
I'm not gonna spend money this next one, so I'll give you a
I'll
break.
let
Just in time.
All right. Let's discuss possible action on resolution designating non-business days for purposes of the Texas Public Information Act.
Okay, this is just a board resolution, like you said, to establish the non-business days for the Public Information Act, because you'd be surprised on how many of the Public Information Acts that, requests that we get. And so we have the state and national holidays listed, and then our local designated days would be 3 days during spring break, 3 days during the Thanksgiving break, and then the remainder would be during Christmas break. And so this just allows us more time to get the request if they were to make it during those holidays.
Okay, any questions? Got a motion?
I move to approve the resolution designating non-business days for the purposes of the Texas Public Information.
Motion by Chad, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Stacy. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. Just to catch you up real quick, Rusty, we went ahead and got the,
You bought us.
yeah, we bought the nicer, the Freightliner bus is what we purchased.
Big one.
Yes,
Yeah, hold that.
so. All right, discuss, possible action on the elementary playground.
Okay, we're back to spending money here. All right, so we discussed this the last meeting, and he took out the 4 pieces of equipment that we asked him to, and it did drop the price. What I did add is, I thought since, you know, we're improving the playground, we're putting in the fields, and then we have that cement basketball court there, why not go ahead and make it look nice as well? So he did average court surfacing on that, and he showed us a picture. I don't know if you remember, I can grab it if you'd like. You know, and it'd be blue, and it'll have the lines, a 3-point line, and free throws and that type of deal. And you know, it's an additional $97.60, but I think it's well worth it. It looks good, and then it'll help keep our surface from tearing up longer, and so.
Is that like a rubber surface or something?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it's made out of.
It's acrylic.
Acrylic, yep, there it is. And so,
Do we already have big old cracks in that bed, or,
you know, I haven't really, I don't know, but
you know?
It's been a while since I've been out there. I wanna say, I think it's pretty good. I think one of the corners was broken.
Yeah.
That's all he said.
Yeah,
I think it was just a corner that was
fix that.
broken. So I think it will help maintain the surface.
Now, with that being said, if we're gonna resurface the court in the back of the elementary, I would like to do the same to the junior high. It's not on here, but you know, I think it'd be nice to have that one surfaced as well with the lines and all that type of deal there at the junior high, because, you know, with junior high kids, you're limited on things you can do to the playground. You know, they don't use it as much as elementary kids, obviously, but they're too cool to play on, you know, play equipment and that type of deal. And so our plans for the junior high were to replace the swings, put in tetherball, put in a volleyball court just on the dirt with poles and with the lines, and then resurface the basketball court as well, if y'all are good with doing that.
Be about the same cost.
Yeah, he said it'd be about the same.
What have we done?
Well, it was 250 for both playgrounds, and then we had the 135 that we weren't using for that stage, and so we had about 385 in the pocket, and so you're looking at, it was about 445. Yeah.
450? Mm-hmm. 445.
$455 maybe, around that, if you did the
Yeah,
junior
if
high.
you did the 55 and a half.
455?
455.
455 I think with the money we're saving on the inside,
Spend on
same deal, give the kids something nice.
Part of it is, I know, part of it is becoming ADA compliant, so they're going to spend some money no matter what we do.
We need to be.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, we're,
the top part
we're
of
within
it
the
is
time frame. I mean, we're not out of our time
taken,
frame.
right?
Right.
Yeah,
Not in it, but.
the 175 is just, because we can't.
Might as well do it all we can.
Don't want to go into it.
No. Yep.
Spend it, I mean, that's what we did the bond to do, is just to make major improvements.
And that gets used
A lot.
every day,
Yeah.
half the day.
Mhm.
They've got it being rocky and, you know, tearing pants and all the gravel. I think the parents will be pretty excited about that.
All in all.
Unless they told the kids it's getting it. I know. I was like, no, I have names. We're gonna discuss them.
All right, anybody have any other questions? All right, motion,
I move to approve the elementary playground as presented.
a motion by Logan, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mike. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right, campus reports. Do that.
Sorry.
Stacy's having.
I don't know anything like that. Really 2.2. Okay, I'll be all right.
Can't take it with you, Stacy.
That's true. That's true. If y'all don't want to spend it on something, I want to spend it on.
Much needed improvements. You want to go over them, the campus reports, or has everybody looked at them?
I'll look at it.
Everybody looked at the campus reports? I don't know. Coach has anything? Do you have anything, Coach?
I think you probably put it in there, I mean, I have it in front of me if we want to talk about sports.
Sure.
So, kind of since the last board meeting in April, our softball team ended up finishing as co-district champs. It was actually a four-way tie, which you don't see that very often, but co-district champs, and obviously went on to the playoffs. Baseball qualified for the playoffs for the first time in 2 years. Boys golf won the district, I believe, for the second year in a row, and got to compete at regionals. Our girls, we qualified one athlete. We didn't have enough for a full team, but we qualified one athlete onto the regional tournament. And then in track, we sent 8 kids to regionals out of district, and then we had one, Sadie Williams, go and compete at state in 2 different events, which I believe is only the second kid in school history to ever compete in 2 events as an individual. So that was kind of a big deal. We finished top 10 in both, 7th in triple and 9th in long jump. As you kind of brought up camps, we're in the communication right now with volleyball having camp this summer, bringing in an outside entity. She is a pretty high profile volleyball coach out of Lubbock area. She's going to come up for about 4 days in the month of June and then come back in July and run a mini camp for our kids to kind of get our kids ready for the volleyball season. Our new girls basketball coach is going to run every Thursday for the month of June from 11 to noon. All our youth kids, our 5th through 9th graders coming in for our girls basketball program. And then softball is planning on running a camp also. And then we'll be doing weights every morning and then sport specific. So that's kind of an update with athletics at this current juncture. We're also in the booster. We will start tomorrow the booster club / athletic fundraiser that we've been working on. So
good deal. Thank you. All right, Ms. Searles.
Okay, I really just wanted to throw in a little map for teacher incentive allotment. So we are fully approved and we're having our banquet tomorrow night, and we'll talk more about that then, but we were able to receive $177,000 for 15 teachers. They generated that much money, so we're going to give away some money for those teachers that deserve it. But this map just highlights up here in Region 16, we are one of 5 schools that are giving out teacher incentive allotment money. There are 8 schools, there's some other 8 schools trying to get it, but there's 47 school districts in Region 16, and we're one of only 5 giving out the teacher incentive allotment money. And so we're going to reconvene the committee in the fall and start adding some more teachers to that group. So hopefully we can start giving more teachers money that they deserve for all that hard work that they do and help to recruit and retain teachers. We have had some teachers that had contemplated leaving the district to go do some other things, and they've decided they're going to stick around because of the teacher incentive allotment. So that is one of the goals that we hoped would achieve for that. And so pretty excited about that here for our school. And then I just listed some things we're working on, curriculum, and we've been working hard. We did get our grant for our Bluebonnet materials. So we got a $200,000 grant. 100,000 of that has to go to Region 16 to help support us, but we're going to add a math intervention teacher and a math coach. Brooke Moffitt will be doing that at elementary school, and we're able to pay 30% of her salary out of the grant. And we're going to be able to purchase some really good math materials, so hope that helps get our math scores up. So excited about that as well.
Okay, good deal. All right, Mr. Garrison.
Do you have anything for us, Courtney? You skipped on Courtney.
Did I skip Courtney? No, I'm sorry, Courtney.
That's okay. I'm just the finance lady.
We're spending all the money.
I'm just the one having a heart attack, don't worry about it. So for the percentage of where we should be setting at in April is 66%. Overall, we're hitting that. As you can see on the summary, I believe. No, it's the details. Sorry, Kendra. That's the one that I do. The ones that are highlighted, they were highlighted last month. They were highlighted the month before. Same reasons, again, because of we had those payoffs, so they're going to carry over till we get to that part of the budget where we meet even. Really not anything too concerning right now. We just gotta It rains on Mr. Garrison. No. But if y'all have any specific questions,
Can you remind me what the miscellaneous intermediate sources of revenue are?
so those are like if we get a donation or we get a rebate check from purchasing stuff through text buy from Region 16. Those are things that we never really account for, so that's why some years we're like, woohoo, we've done good.
That's how I was just.
Yeah, so it's just a miscellaneous revenue that's not dog-eared that we know we're getting.
Any other questions? Okay. Now, Mr. Garrison.
Okay, if you look at our enrollment attendance, we're strong there. The admin has done a good job with attendance and things, so we're looking good there. Just a reminder, the employee appreciation banquet is May 22nd, 11:30 in the junior high cafeteria. Frank Phillips is going to cater that for us. And then we've got graduation on the 23rd at 7 p.m. out on the field, weather permitting. And from what I looked, I think we're good at this point, knock on wood. So, also, I just wanted to add that I spoke with TxDOT, and for the kiddos, like the junior high kids that are going to come to workouts, they will have the lights on crossing the highway. And so they're going to run, we're going to start off from 7:48, and he told me that if we needed to tweak it, we could. So they'll be on, and when they go back home, when it's over, they'll be flashing from 10 to 10:20. So I was appreciative of them working with us for that to keep our kids safe. So I thought that was a big deal. So give a shout out to them for doing that for us.
Okay. Any other questions?
Fingers on her report, federal impact fund.
They're working on it.
Every month. Tomorrow. What time's the?
6 o'clock tomorrow.
6 at,
No, for the 18th. Next week,
Oh.
next Thursday.
11:30.
11:30.
Okay.
All right. Set the meeting for next month, June 11th.
That won't work.
I'm on vacation 9th through the 15th. Not that it matters.
The superintendent won't be here, nor the business manager.
He's
Can't,
still.
go to Cancun.
He's still.
Oh, yeah, I won't be here.
We'll both be gone.
We'll be done.
Okay, you want to do the next week, 18th?
It's up to you guys, I'm good on.
I don't even know what I'm
not
doing this week.
Never mind. Y'all do it whenever. Wednesday,
Well, and we
I can be
can
here.
move it off of Wednesdays because we've all.
Yeah, you'll be in the
Oh,
summer.
based on, or, yeah, Little League.
They don't stop. Never stop.
Which one?
17th or 18th.
Okay, 18th, 6 o'clock. All right, Ms. Kirksey, will you call us into closed session to discuss personnel here, complaints against certain personnel, a public officer, Texas Governmental Code 551.071. Will you call us in at 7:45?
buy a new one.
Yeah.
And then,
He said, email it and they, I mean, that's also pretty still, it's like, no.
Pretty close.
Stupid, stupid.
Pretty close.
it's in my dining room.
Record.
I'm not, I believe that way.
I'm sure I know McDonald's.
All right, Ms. Kirksey, will you call us out of executive session at 7:50? Mr. Garrison.
Yes, sir. I recommend Brad Herndon for a 2025-2026 probationary contract for certified classroom teacher, subject to salary and assignment.
A recommendation by Mr. Garrison. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve Brad Herndon for the 2025-2026 probationary contract for certified classroom teacher, subject to salary and assignment.
Motion by Doug. Do I have a second? Second by Rusty. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right. We will now do our new elected board members for the oath. You guys, come on up. Tanya's got something for you to read.
We want to start with Rusty since this isn't his first rodeo.
Oh, I forgot you were reelected.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm sure you have that memorized. Thanks.
Oh, it's shorter.
Yeah, I just got off the. Well, you only have to read this one, and then I'll just notarize the second. You're not gonna say mine.
Oh.
And so.
Yeah.
Which somebody, let me get pictures of the paper, okay, yep.
I, Rusty Ratliff, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of School Board Trustee for the Sanford Creek School District of the state of Texas, and to the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
I, Trey Hargraff, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of School Board Trustee of the Sanford Bridge School District of the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
I, Joshua Walker, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of School Board Trustee for the Sanford Bridge District, or School District of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
And I'll take those back and
Congratulations, fellas.
Congratulations.
yeah. Oh my gosh, and I'll get a good picture of it, y'all. The paper. Yeah. Oh my gosh, do y'all want to just stand up here with the certificates and all? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know you're good, stay right there.
Awesome. All right. Y'all can't leave because I'm going to have to notarize it, but I'm going to have him sign it. Sign a deed real fast.
Okay, Josh.
And Billy, I just will get a copy real quick. Your last deed.
My last deed.
You have to sign. Right here.
We're gonna realign the board now.
I know. So I can get the sign since it's in this one.
Yeah, you gotta take you guys.
And then, hang on, I think this resolution is at the time.
Okay.
What do I do? What do I say?
You get a gavel.
Yeah, y'all can realize what and we'll sign that.
We're done.
You're done.